My people, the time for change is now. We will not be silenced. Our voices will be heard.
Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a nation where farmers once didn't even own a plow. Today, tractors roar across those same fields, not made of steel, but of wood. No factories, no wealth, just faith, courage, and one fearless leader, Ibrahim Traoré. He said, "If the world thinks we are weak, let's build strength out of wood." People laughed, but when the first wooden tractors started moving, the world fell silent. Because that tractor wasn't just a machine, it was a message. Revolutions aren't always forged from steel. Sometimes they're carved from wood. When Burkina Faso elected Ibrahim Traoré, they didn't just choose a politician, they chose a dream. A dream that farmers would once again stand tall. Traoré knew one truth: the day the farmer rises, the nation will never go hungry again. But there was a problem. Machines were too expensive, fuel too rare, and in the villages, iron tractors were nothing but a fantasy. Farmers worked with their bare hands. They sweated, they struggled, and they began to lose hope. That's when Traoré made a decision that would change everything. He called his young engineers, craftsmen, and students and said, "We will stop asking others. We'll build our own machines, even if we have to build them from wood." It wasn't just a statement, it was a command, a mission. In universities and small workshops, young people began experimenting. They built models from wood, bamboo, and scrap parts. First came the wheels, then the chassis, then the engine frame. Days turned into weeks, and finally, that historic moment arrived. A farmer started the first wooden tractor in his field. The entire village gathered. Children stared in awe. Old men wept, because for the first time, someone had brought a revolution for them, built by their own hands. That tractor wasn't just moving soil, it was rewriting history. The smile on that farmer's face wasn't just happiness, it was victory after generations of struggle. Now, they didn't need foreign companies, loans, or aid. They had built their own strength, a local, low-cost, fuel-efficient machine made from their own land. Traoré announced that wooden tractors would be built in every district and distributed free or at low cost to farmers. Villages erupted in joy. Mothers prayed, young men picked up hammers and tools. There were no factories, but their hearts were factories of determination. And soon, wooden tractors began rolling across the fields of Burkina Faso. Dust flew, wheels turned, and the land came alive again. The world couldn't believe it. Could a tractor made of wood really work? Engineers tested it, and the answer was yes. But this success wasn't just an invention, it was a message. Progress doesn't always come from wealth, it comes from will. Traoré proved that when leadership is sincere, even wood can be as strong as steel. Burkina Faso, once called poor, became a symbol of hope for Africa. When international media heard about the wooden tractors, one question echoed everywhere: how is this possible? Traoré's answer was simple: when a nation awakens, the impossible becomes possible. These wooden tractors didn't just grow crops, they grew an entire economy. Local craftsmen, carpenters, and students all joined the mission. Workshops sprang up in every village. People were no longer searching for jobs, they were creating them. And for the first time in decades, farmers weren't trapped in debt, they were winning with dignity. Production doubled, fields thrived, and soon, countries like Niger, Mali, and Ghana reached out to learn the secret of this wooden revolution. Traoré smiled and said, "This revolution doesn't belong to Burkina Faso, it belongs to all Africa." There was a time when Burkina Faso begged for technology. Today, the world comes to learn from them. And as the sun rises over those golden fields, the sound of wooden tractors still echoes, not as engines, but as symbols of a new identity. Ibrahim Traoré didn't just give his farmers a machine, he gave them faith in themselves. He showed the world that true progress doesn't come from factories or money, it comes from belief, integrity, and courage. Every morning, when those wooden tractors move across the fields, they're not just planting seeds, they're planting hope. This story isn't just about Burkina Faso. It's about every nation that dares to believe in itself. This isn't just a wooden tractor. It's a vehicle of courage, and its wheels will never stop turning. Because sometimes revolutions don't begin with guns. They begin with ideas. And sometimes progress isn't written in steel. It's written in wood. Ibrahim Traoré proved that when a nation's will is pure, even wood can become as strong as iron. So the question isn't what he did. The question is, what will we do?